All right, viewers, I want to quickly take you to the latest news that is filtering in from the state of Punjab and disconcerting visuals that have only been building over the last couple of days. The deluge in Punjab has claimed 29 lives. This has been the worst flood in decades. Punjab reeling under, like I pointed out, viewers, the worst flood in decades. The death toll has mounted to 39 now. 2.5 lakh people have been affected. Massive floods have been caused by the swollen Satluj, Beas and the Ravi River, where seasonal rivulets due to heavy incessant rain. Moreover, what is worse right now, the IMD has issued a 36-hour alert for heavy rains to very heavy rains in Punjab. Parts of Punjab are now facing a red alert even though they are completely inundated. The border districts which flow right next to the river Ravi are completely inundated. Area which adjoin Himachal Pradesh where the Beas drains into completely inundated. Several districts, and I just want to give you an example, viewers, of Punjab. Gurdaspur, Hoshiarpur, Pathankot, Mohali are some of the worst affected where districts are concerned of Punjab. Having said that, large parts of the state are completely inundated and underwater. Lakhs have been displaced. 39 as I speak are dead. I want to immediately cut across these visuals, of course, coming in from the city. We're going to continue to get you visuals coming in from deep inside Punjab, where my colleague Navjot, Aman and Kamaljeet have been traveling to. Kamaljeet Sandhu joins me live from Chandigarh. Navjot Kaur live from, she joins us from Ambala. No, she joins us from Amritsar, Anjala. Aman Bhardwaj live from Firozpur, Punjab. We're going to cut across to all of them, but first up, I'm going to take you through the kind of visuals that we've been getting in, disconcerting viewers to say the least. 39 lives are lost as I speak and lakhs are inundated. One thing is clear, the state of Punjab is now witnessing one of the worst floods it has in decades. The Punjab government has extended school holidays till the 3rd of September as the incessant rain continues. Many parts of Punjab completely underwater, and the worst now, red alert in Punjab for the next 48 hours. Rivers like Ravi, Satluj, Beas and Ghaggar are flowing in full spate, consuming and taking everything in their wake.
Satluj, Beas and Ravi rages across Punjab, inundating nearly 3 lakh acres of farmland, hitting around 1.25 lakhs of people in the state and killing at least 29 people.
Right here, this is Samrala Chowk in Ludhiana, and just close to this is where what you see is a massive water logging. This is leading to flooding in cities. This is really at a point of time which could result in havoc. Now, a lot of people wading through waters, key concern, but clearly what we've seen in massive cities, Jalandhar, Ludhiana, all looking at major water logging because of the incessant rains.
Gurdaspur, Moga, Fazilka, Firozpur, Pathankot and Tarantaran are the worst affected in Punjab. Indian Army along with the NDRF and civil administration have been deployed for relief and rescue operations.
We are at Firozpur, Indo-Pak border, and you can see right behind me is the fencing at 50 to 100 meters, and we won't disclose the post which is, but you can see the water flowing this side as well and that side as well, because this is a Satluj river in Firozpur that flows along the borderline on along the fencing, and to that side of the fencing you can see the water that has hit, the flood that has hit, and this side also you can see the fields, the crops, how it's been damaged, and 11 villages here that on the borderline are majorly affected. And this area, Firozpur, there are total 100 villages that are affected, and people here were evacuated, were rescued from their homes. Still the water level is at where it was, and still people are under threat that in coming days water level can increase if the water being released from the dams.
The flood caused by incessant rain and swollen rivers have led to huge financial losses due to crop damage and livestock loss in Punjab. Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann has constituted a high-powered committee for relief work and has sought 60,000 crore rupees from the centre as relief funds. With Kamaljeet Sandhu and Aman Bharadwaj, Bureau Report, India Today.
Whereas one thing is for clear, that the state of Punjab is witnessing its worst flood in decades. Look at these visuals that are coming in from the most affected areas of Gurdaspur, Ajnala, Firozpur, Hoshiarpur, Zirakpur, Ludhiana, inundated fields, swollen rivers, Punjab completely submerged. These visuals have been continuing for the last couple of days with incessant rainfall. Rivers like Ravi, Beas, Ghaggar in full spate, taking everything in its wake. Till now, there are over 30 dead and the loss to life and property is mammoth. Lakhs have been displaced and the next 48 hours now crucial, viewers, because a red alert with more incessant rainfall now been alerted by the IMD. I want to quickly cut across to our reporters who've been reporting relentlessly over the past 48 hours. Joining me, my colleague Kamaljeet Sandhu, who's now joining us from Chandigarh. She was in Ludhiana this morning. My colleague Navjot Kaur, who's been reporting incessantly from the border areas of Amritsar. She joins us from Ajnala, Punjab. Aman Bharadwaj joining us live from Firozpur. Kamal, before I cut across to our other reporters, give us a sense, what's the current situation? Already over 30 dead, lakhs have been displaced. What's the latest?
Well, it's one of the worst one of the worst floods in 4 decades. So that way, the problem has already been there, especially in the border districts. But now what has happened is the incessant rainfall is also impacting its cities. So Jalandhar, even parts of Ludhiana seeing waist-deep water, people wading through waters. So this is only adding to woes. What is also important and significant is about how people have now joined hands, celebrities coming in. So a whole lot of help really coming in. There are also one-upmanship, if we can say so, between central forces as well as the state government. Obviously, the state pointing out that there is 60,000 crores which are yet to be given to the state. That is the utmost requirement. Many, especially the opposition, pointing out that the Aam Aadmi Party government was caught napping, that despite its preparation, it really failed up to live up to its image. The helicopters were used for PR. So a whole lot of exchange between political parties. All of them, remember, 2027 elections is not too far. But on ground zero, it's the people who are impacted. It's the livestock, several of them, 1 lakh hectare of crops. And remember, Punjab is the food bowl. Also significantly is the livestock. Several of the buffaloes being swept away, several of them killed. So these are heart-wrenching images. But what Punjab has shown is resilience. Despite facing one of its worst flood, several of the villages have come out to help each other. There is also assistance coming in. Remember, there are helicopters, there's drones being utilized, so technology coming to the aid. But on ground, we've also seen schools getting impacted, and that is why there is a closure till up to 3rd. But this could perhaps be a signal as to why the cities are blocking water. Why is the water not being drained away? Is there a larger question? Whether how we've seen in Uttarakhand or Himachal Pradesh is the construction really leading up to these particular gaps, which is putting all the water together. Now, we know that there is water coming in from several of the dams, Bhakra, Pong Dam, but it's also about whether the water is able to seep in and has a way out, or that is why this particular flooding is taking place. Many talking about the sewerage lines not being open, not being clean. So a whole lot of questions, but remember the questions will come later on. It's a relief and rescue at first.
All right, relief and rescue, but right now things are on an edge, viewers. I want to immediately, Navjot, give us a minute because our colleague Aman Bharadwaj is joining us from Firozpur. He's in a boat. People are still being evacuated as we speak right now because the next 48 hours there is a red alert. Aman, over to you. You are a part of, one such rescue mission. How bad is the situation in Firozpur, Punjab, one of the worst affected districts where many lives have been lost?
Pretty, here the network is very poor, so the voice was also breaking. I didn't heard the question completely, but what I heard is you want to know regarding the situation. I'll show you first the visuals that wherever you will see, it all seems like a ocean, that we are in an ocean, but it's Punjab's Firozpur border area, from where hardly at 200-300 meters there's a international border with Pakistan, Indo-Pak border, and here approx 12 villages are under worst condition. Here we are in a boat at Firozpur's Nahala Lavera village, where the depth of this water is either on the paddy crop at 3 to 4 feet or at 15 to 20 feet. And you can imagine that this complete stretch, the Satluj has been widened up to 8 kilometers. So people hardly can come to know that where is the actual Satluj flowing and where is the flooded water. And BSF personals, this is the wing, the boat wing who are operating boats, water wing guy Pritam ji is with us. Kaise rescue? How the rescue has been going? What are people saying? What is the condition here? If you can just tell us.
Sir, when we were deployed here, the water wing personnel of GP under the firm command of our water wing OC CS Toshwara and Devnath sir, GPHQ headquarter group commander, he clearly instructed us to rescue and save each and every people of Nihala Lavera and Dhiragara and Taligram, each and every people in every possible ways.
So what are the things that you're taking here, and how many persons being rescued?
We are providing them food, daily water bottles, medicines, as well as the other necessary things to them in every possible way, irrespective of every hardships and irrespective of any other kind of problems. You can well see that this 30 HP OBM is also deployed here. We cannot deploy here EPFE boat having 90 HP boat.
What are the challenges here? Because all you see is water.
Water. We cannot actually identify what is the actual depth of this particular water, where actually Satluj is flowing and where is the flooded area. So the entire area is shredded with the green grasses. So it becomes a kind of hindrance to us to cover up the entire area. But we have been doing our level best to.
So what is the level of water in these houses and these homes and schools, or all the infrastructure that is here? It is 4 to 5 feet. And what are people saying? What they want to stay in their houses because they are also insecure that theft can take place, or they are not willing to leave their place.
Of course, some people we have also rescued more than 1,000. But there are few people who cannot leave their house because we all know that it is their sweet home. So they are not willing to go any other places. So we are providing them each and everything.
So this is a situation, Preeti, and you see locals are also here who are taking these things to the people. And the situation here is more concerning because the water level sometimes is increasing and sometimes it is decreasing. अभी यहाँ पर किस तरीके की स्थिति है? क्या-क्या मदद लोगों तक पहुँचाई जा रही है?
इधर देखो जी, स्थिति तो हड़ती बहुत नाजुक बनी हुई है, पर फिर भी साढ़े जिम्मे बीएसएफ
हिंदी में बता।
हमारी यहाँ पे बीएसएफ काम कर रही है, बहुत अच्छा काम कर रही है। हमारे पानी की जरूरत है, पशुओं के लिए चारे की जरूरत है, कोई मेडिसिन की जरूरत है, तो ये सुबह से लेकर शाम तक ये बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं। हमारे घर पर तक पहुंचाया जा रहा है। अभी भी देख लो शाम के 7 बज चुके हैं, तो अभी भी इसे बीएसएफ काम कर रही है, तो हमारे से काफी रिलीफ मिलता है।
This is the borderline. They have to also they are also patrolling at the same time, and same time they are rescuing people. They are providing the necessary things that is needed, and also for tomorrow in Firozpur, because more than 100 villages are affected, and it's a borderline. International border is there. So Governor Punjab Gulab Chand Kataria, Chief Minister Punjab Bhagwant Mann will be visiting Firozpur and take the.
Right. Aman, I'm going to come back to you.
How's the situation?
Because I just want to give you a sense where Aman is.
Are
Aman, let's go full frame with Aman. Aman right now is in a paddy field. Is at a paddy field right now in Firozpur area in one of the villages. And he's with the BSF, he's with the local police, he's with the NDRF. And they are saying that they don't quite know where the Satluj is flowing and where is the flood water. You cannot distinguish beneath the two. Help, you can see that visual there. That is my colleague Aman on a boat where they're delivering help, food to eat in houses that have been completely inundated. A rescue there being made of a young boy that you can see on your television screen, viewers. Or there's food being delivered. The sweet visual there of this young kid completely in water. Let's go back to Aman and then we'll go to Navjot. Aman, take us through what's happening. Okay, we're going to come back to Aman. We're going to continue to play these visuals, and I want to cut across to my colleague Navjot, who's joining us from Ajnala. Navjot, over the last few days, you have sent some horrific reports coming in of villages after villages completely inundated. The next 2 days, Navjot, वो भी बहुत crucial रहेंगे Navjot, क्योंकि एक red alert है of heavy to intensely heavy rainfall.
प्रीति, आप सही कह रही है। एक जल्दी से अपडेट आपको दे देती हूँ। आज की जो शाम में प्रेस रिलीज हमारे पास आई है, 2500 लोगों को सुरक्षित बचाया गया, 23,000 हेक्टेयर क्रॉप डिस्ट्रॉय हुई है। एनडीआरएफ 6, आर्मी की 5, सिविल और लोकल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की टीमें मौजूद हैं। प्रीति, एक अपडेट मैं आपको देती हूँ। सबसे पहले बता दूं, हम पहला चैनल है जो आज गोगेमाल गांव है, अजनाला का लास्ट गांव जो कि रावी के बिल्कुल किनारे पड़ता है, हम वहां पर पहुंचे। वो पूरा गांव एक तरीके से जलमग्न था। वहां पर लोगों को बाहर जरूर निकाला गया, लेकिन जो लोग अंदर रह गए, ना तो उनके लिए 3-4 दिन से राशन वहां पर पहुंचा, कोई वहां पर जा ही नहीं पा रहा था क्योंकि वो इतने रिमोट एरिया में था। तो हम लोग आज हमारी टीम थी और हम लोग अपने साथ एक ट्रैक्टर लेकर गए जो कि पूरा राशन से भरा हुआ था। हम वहां तक गए और लोगों की आंखों में आंसू थे। आखिरी घर तक हम लोग पहुंचे जहां पर रावी के पानी ने बहुत ज्यादा कहर बरपाया। बांध टूटा और उस वजह से सबसे ज्यादा उस पूरे एरिया में इफेक्ट हुआ है और पूरी जितनी भी वहां पर क्रॉप है वो पूरी तरह से डिस्ट्रॉय हो चुकी है। आसपास की अगर हम बात करें तमाम जो जितने भी फसलें हैं वो पूरी तरह से तबाह हो चुकी थी। और तृप्ति, यहाँ प्रीति, मैं आपको बता दूं कि यहाँ पर लोगों में नाराजगी भी बहुत ज्यादा है। बिल्कुल प्रीति, यहाँ लोगों में नाराजगी बहुत ज्यादा है क्योंकि लोग ये कह रहे हैं कि वहां तक प्रशासन की टीमें नहीं पहुंच रही हैं और इसी वजह से लोग यहाँ पर अपना गुस्सा भी उतार रहे हैं। लेकिन एक और बड़ी बात यह है कि 100 के करीब ट्रॉलियां वहां पर मौजूद थी जो कि अपनी तरफ से राशन लेकर जा रही थी।
Want you to be safe. I hope you're safe. There is a lot of anger where the locals are concerned. We have a team there. We're going to check in on them. So clearly the locals are angry that the administration hasn't been able to reach them in time. Some of these visuals will break your heart, viewers. I want to cut across back to Aman, but we're going to check on. I hope Navjot's unit is fine. Navjot is fine. My colleague who's been reporting from Ajnala. Okay, Navjot, अगर कोई दिक्कत हो रही है नवजोत, आप वहां से आप हट जाइए क्योंकि बहुत गुस्सा है जो आप कह रही थी लोगों में।
जी प्रीति, मैं लौटती हूँ आपके पास।
जी आप हट जाइए वहां से, आपकी सेफ्टी सबसे पैरामाउंट है। So that's my colleague Navjot, because there's a lot of anger. There is a lot of anger because administration hasn't been able to reach many villages that are completely marooned, cut off for the last 48 hours. My colleague Navjot there speaking to the locals there, but I want to cut across for a brief while to my colleague Aman, who's accompanying a rescue mission, or rather a relief mission where water, milk, food is being delivered to houses which are completely marooned. Over to you, Aman, then we'll quickly move on.
Priti, you see, now they have given the milk, the necessity things that were required, water bottles being given to this house in Firozpur of Nahala Lavera, and you see people standing there. There's no electricity there. Females, you see how with all tears in eyes and emotional because they do have expectations from the administration, from the government, but nothing so far been met whatever was needed. And you see there's no electricity, there's no mobile network, and all you see is water all around. This is a parking area of this home, and this is a cow shed there. The kettles are there, cows are there, but still in this gate and their entrance and this parking area, all you see is water, and this water outside is being merged with Satluj, and 8-kilometer widened Satluj is creating a horror among these people here in Firozpur, and locals are here, NGOs are working, BSF guys are here who are on rescue at this time as well. And you see the weather is still scary. There's a wind that is blowing, and now even on the boat the rescue can't be carried out. Still at this time BSF has taken on the responsibility on the shoulders that any stone will not be left unturned. Abhi what else you have given here? What things you have given here, and how this rescue operation is working?
Okay, we have given them biscuits, daily commodities for their cooking, water as well as medicines, each and everything. Water wing personnel are working and toiling hard 24/7 to give them.
Can we go and speak to them? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਕੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੇ?
No, because you have no idea what is the actual level of the water. So this is the problem.
We'll talk to them. आप कितना पानी है आपके घर में? कितना पानी था और अभी कितना है? ਕਿੰਨਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ, ਹੁਣ ਕਿੰਨਾ?
4-5 ਫੁੱਟ
4-5 ਫੁੱਟ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਾਣੀ ਸੀਗਾ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਤੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਰਿਹਾ ਇੱਥੇ? ਕਿਵੇਂ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ?
ਪਹੁੰਚ ਹੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ।
ਲਾਈਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਘਰੇ? ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ?
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਕਿਹੜੀ ਕਲਾਸ?
5ਵੀਂ।
So he is in 5th. What's your name? ਕੀ ਨਾਂ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ?
ਹਰਮਨਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ।
Harmanpreet is in 5th and he studies, but there's no electricity. That is the condition of Punjab. क्या सिचुएशन है जी यहाँ पर? क्योंकि आप तो दूध दे रहे हैं, सामान लेकर जा रहे हैं, आ रहे हैं लोकल।
ਸਰ ਪਾਣੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ, ਕਰਕੇ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਲਾਈਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਸੀ, ਪਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਕਤ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਸੀ ਸਰ। ਜਦੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ, ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ, ਛੱਡਦੇ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਸੀ, ਕਿਸੇ ਭੈਣ ਭਰਾ ਦੇ ਸੰਸਥਾ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਕੁਛ ਰਾਸ਼ਨ ਪਹੁੰਚਦਾ, ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਹੁੰਚਦਾ ਜੀ। ਇਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਹਨੇਰੇ ਦੇ ਮੁਤਾਬਕ ਸਾਲਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੁਲਾਜ਼ਮ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਜੀ। Hardev Singh ji.
Hardev Singh is all thanking BSF that because of them, all the ration or the necessary thing that is required is reaching to the home. And you see the weather condition is also scary right now.
It's for the next 48 hours, Aman, I'm going to urge you to get in, to get back to safety as well. The next 48 hours are crucial again. There's a red alert in various districts of heavy to very heavy rainfall. Where my colleague Aman is right now, viewers, is very close to the border with Pakistan and the Satluj there, and one really doesn't know where the Satluj ends and the flood waters are. It's that inundated, where over 20 villages completely cut off and marooned. We're going to keep a keen eye on all the developments coming in from the state of Punjab, facing the worst flood in 40 years, 4 decades, viewers. With that, I want to quickly move on to the other big story that we've been tracking all day on the network. At the SCO summit in Tianjin, all 10 members of the organization condemned the terror attacks and cross-border terrorism in the region. While the condemnation of Pahalgam attack in the presence of Pakistan is a big win for India, members of SCO did not name Pakistan as the perpetrator. The joint declaration of Tianjin SCO summit condemned terror attacks in Jafar Express, Baluchistan as well.
Shanghai Cooperation Organization's declaration at the end of 2-day summit at Tianjin reaffirmed the bloc's firm commitment to fight terrorism, separatism and extremism. The Tianjin Declaration, signed and adopted by all 10 members, including India, Pakistan and Russia, strongly condemned the April 22nd Pahalgam attack. But the joint declaration steered clear of naming Pakistan, despite India's long-standing charge that Islamabad provides a safe haven to terror outfits.
हाल ही में हमने पहलगाम में टेररिज्म का बहुत ही घिनौना रूप देखा। इस दुख की घड़ी में जो मित्र देश हमारे साथ खड़े रहे, मैं उनका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। यह हमला केवल भारत की अंतरात्मा पर ही आघात नहीं था, यह मानवता में विश्वास रखने वाले हर देश, हर व्यक्ति को खुली चुनौती थी। ऐसे में प्रश्न उठना स्वाभाविक है, क्या कुछ देशों द्वारा आतंकवाद का खुलेआम समर्थन हमें स्वीकार्य हो सकता है?
Joint statement declared, and I quote, "The member states strongly condemned the terrorist attack in Pahalgam on 22nd April 2025. They expressed their deepest sympathy and condolences to the families of the dead and the wounded. They further stated that perpetrators, organizers and sponsors of such attacks must be brought to justice," unquote. And it also mentioned, and I quote, "Member states also strongly condemned the terrorist attacks on Jafar Express on 11th March and in Khusdar on 21st May 2025, unquote. Calling for an end to cross-border movement of terrorists, the declaration stressed the inadmissibility of attempts to use terrorist, separatist and extremist groups for mercenary purposes.
上海合作组织成员国都是朋友。
SCO member states are all friends and partners. We must respect each other's differences, maintain strategic communication, build collective consensus, strengthen unity and coordination, expand the scope of cooperation, make full use of each country's strengths, and shoulder together the responsibility of promoting peace, stability, development and prosperity in the region.
中国始终将自身发展。
On the issue of territorial integrity and sovereignty, the Tianjin Declaration said, and I quote, "Member states advocate respect for the right of peoples to independently and democratically choose their own paths of political and socio-economic development and emphasize that the principles of mutual respect for sovereignty, independence, territorial integrity of states, equality, mutual benefit, non-interference in internal affairs, and non-use of force or threat of force are the basis for the sustainable development of international relations," unquote. This becomes an important point for India as far as the border standoff and the dispute with China is concerned. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, let me quickly take you through the latest news break that's coming in. US President Donald Trump's big statement after the SCO summit. Trump has now stated India now offered to cut their tariffs to nothing. But it's getting late. They should have done so years ago. That's a huge statement coming in by President Donald Trump, once again resorting to social media to say that India has now offered to cut their tariffs to nothing, but it's getting late. They should have done so years ago. Trump doubling down on Russian oil charge on India. India buys most of its oil and military products from Russia, very little from the US. What few people understand is that we do very little business with India and they do a tremendous amount of business with us. Until now, a totally one-sided relationship, and it has been so for many decades. Big news coming in. I want to cut across to my colleague Pranay Upadhyay, editor India Today, joining us to break it down. Pranay, once again, you have President Trump making a big statement on part of India where he claims India's offered to cut down tariffs to zero. What does he actually mean?
President Donald Trump again trying to make this claim, but also if you see the tone of President Donald Trump's Truth Social post, it clearly is visible that he's trying to explain his position, because there are many voices and there are many critics who are asking Donald Trump and his administration's policy vis-a-vis India is concerned, that why US is trying to alienate a strategic partner like India and to fight against the Chinese hegemony to Indo-Pacific policy. India has been a pivotal partner for the United States. On the other side, now US has taken a contrary position. But if you see the two social media posts which came today, on one side, the US Embassy in India has posted a statement of US Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying that India remains a vital partner, India remains a pivotal partner for the United States as far as the 21st century partnership is concerned, as far as the future of India-US strategic ties are concerned. US remains hopeful, and this is a steadfast partnership between US and in India. On the other side, President Donald Trump trying to explain that, why he has taken this position. He is trying to make a case out of it. But look, whatever tariff policies US have been objecting, these tariff rates are being derived out of the WTO
But Pranay,
procedures.
do we have any confirmation of this from India? Because this is a claim that President Trump has made, that we have offered to cut our tariffs down.
You're absolutely right. Yes, there has been assurances to cut down on tariff lines, because when you enter a BTA, a bilateral trade agreement, so in that trade agreement, like we did in case of India-UK FTA, you have zeroed down or reduced the tariff rates for certain tariff goods, certain goods and their associated tariff lines. So in this case also, we have already reduced tariffs on many products, and we were assured to reduce it further. When the BTA is done.
Pressure tactics, that's what it is.
Yeah.
We're going to leave it at that. Pranay, I thank you for joining us. My colleague Pranay Upadhyay getting us the latest, because all of this is taking place, of course, not this is taking place on social media, where President Trump once again tweeting away, but the SEO summit, all of that taking place in China, but reverberations in the state of Bihar as well, because today was the end of the Vote Adhikar rally. Lok Sabha LOP Rahul Gandhi on Monday took a swipe at Prime Minister Modi's China visit, mentioning that the slogan "Vote Chori, Gaddi Chhod" is not limited to India, but has also reached Beijing.
वोट चोर, क्या प्रधानमंत्री जी वोट चोर क्या कर रहे हैं? क्या कर रहे हैं? वोट चोरी कर रहे हैं। एक नया नारा चला है बिहार में, वोट चोर गद्दी छोड़। इसको प्ले कीजिए आप, लोगों को बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। वहां भी बोल रहे हैं लोग, चाइना में भी लोग बोल रहे हैं वोट चोर गद्दी छोड़, अमेरिका में भी बोल रहे हैं।
Meanwhile, there's something else that Rahul Gandhi said, and let's just quickly play that. At the conclusion of the Vote Adhikar rally, Rahul Gandhi also claimed that he was going to now unleash a hydrogen bomb about the SIR exercise in Bihar. Viewers, I'll hark you back when Rahul Gandhi said he's going to drop an atom bomb is when he held that press conference making grave charges on the Election Commission of voter fraud, where he took a constituency in Karnataka of Lok Sabha 2024. Now he claims there's a hydrogen bomb that's going to be dropped very soon. All right, listen in.
बीजेपी के लोग अच्छी तरह सुन लीजिए, भैया एटम बम का नाम सुना आपने? सुना है एटम बम का नाम? उससे बड़ा क्या होता है? उससे बड़ा क्या होता है? एटम बम से बड़ा हाइड्रोजन बम होता है नहीं होता है? माधवपुरा में हमने एटम बम दिखाया था। बीजेपी के लोगों तैयार हो जाओ, हाइड्रोजन बम आ रहा है, हाइड्रोजन बम आ रहा है, तैयार हो जाइए। आपकी जो सच्चाई है, वोट चोरी की सच्चाई है, वो पूरे देश को पता लगने जा रही है। राइट? बिहार की जनता, बिहार के युवा, बिहार के महिलाओं से मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं। ये क्रांतिकारी प्रदेश है, इसने पूरे देश को मैसेज दिया कि वोट चोरी नहीं होने देंगे। और ये जो आपने बिहार में किया है, हमारी जो मदद की, ये पूरे देश में फैल गई है, कोने कोने में फैल गई है।
All right, I want to quickly cut across to a political face-off this evening, and God alone, where shall we start? Shall we speak about China? Shall we speak about what President Trump just tweeted or what Rahul Gandhi just about said? First up, apologies to you both to keep you waiting. We had a bit of news break coming in from a tweet by President Trump, and before that, the tragedy that we are facing in the state of Punjab. So appreciate your patience, but we have 20 minutes with you. I would hope you'd make the most of it. We have a clock, 2 minutes each. I begin with Dr. Ajoy Kumar, National Spokesperson, Congress, Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson, BJP. Dr. Ajoy Kumar, let's start with what Rahul Gandhi just said. What in the world is this hydrogen bomb? You're on mute, sir. You're on mute. Can we get the clock going as well? 2 minutes.
Yeah. So
Go ahead, sir.
Rahul Gandhi should have said Preeti neutron bomb, because majority of the TV channels, majority, not all, and all newspapers are not even covering this vote chori. It looks as if the neutron bomb has wiped them out. It's only the YouTubers and the others. There are certain people who are highlighting.
Can I hold your timer, sir? I'm going to hold your time. I'm going to hold your time, and you're going to allow me to just hold his time, please. Can we freeze his time? Okay. And I'm going to say this because it's amazing, because day after day you come in on our channel, You cast aspersions on our channel while we've just played the, the whole reaction of Rahul Gandhi out, while we are playing the whole rally out, and then you go and laud YouTubers. Sir,
Okay,
either then don't come and do this. If you have to do this, then respect what we are doing.
So one sec.
Go ahead, sir.
I don't know, Preeti, why you're getting touchy. I said some TV channels. I didn't tell you, and I genuinely didn't mean you, but you seem to be over touchy today, so it's part of life. I also get touchy at times. You guys covered it. Some channels have covered it. I'm saying majority of newspapers have not covered it. And the fact is that the electoral rolls fraudism is unbelievable. The change of law so that the chief election commissioner cannot have an FIR, election commissioners cannot have an FIR against them is unbelievable. It was only brought in 2023. You're not showing the videos of the polling after 5 p.m. in Maharashtra. You brought a law to change it because we wanted to prove it to you that it is not possible that after 5 p.m. so many people voted. Unbelievable. So my question to you is, what is he saying? He's saying the lakhs of voters are being disenfranchised, new voters are being put in. The BJP Prabhari voted in Gujarat last time and got registered in Patna. Unbelievable, because they are vote chores. So what you say, now we are doing study assembly after assembly. So the hydrogen bomb, then the neutron bomb will expose that there is no integrity left in this election commission. And last, Preeti, Anurag Thakur doesn't get a notice. Rahul Gandhi has to file. Anurag Thakur also made allegations, no? Why isn't Anurag Thakur getting it? So who will trust this election commission? Rahul Gandhi gets affidavit. Anurag Thakur is left free. This is ridiculous. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Sir, not all parties, but some parties have a habit of constantly attacking the media. I'm not blaming you. So don't get touchy, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying, sir. Sir, why are you getting touchy?
Preeti, no, I'm not getting. No, Preeti, only 5 seconds. I would never make a comment on your channel, and you especially, for the simple reason is I've seen your coverage. I didn't want to flatter you so that people don't attack you. No, I don't flatter you, otherwise they will attack you.
Okay, fine, sir. I'm not getting into it. But all I'm just saying is I'm taking it up for my entire channel and all my fellow journalists. Not all, but a few parties have a habit of constantly attacking journalists, especially national media, or legacy channels and latest whipping boy, or girl. I'll come back to you. To you, sir. Okay. I want to bring in Sanju Verma into this conversation. Sanju Verma, the fact is you might say the atom bomb in terms of Rahul Gandhi's allegations on the EC earlier on, where Karnataka and the study Congress did on a particular seat in Karnataka were a dud. But now he's promising a hydrogen bomb where SIR is concerned. Your quick take, and then we'll move on to Trump.
Preeti, let me make one thing very clear. Rahul Gandhi, can say that hum hydrogen bomb phod denge Jhumri Talaiya mein, atom bomb phod denge Mars mein, hum missile launch kar denge Jupiter or Uranus par. Nobody takes Rahul Gandhi seriously because a politician, especially a leader of opposition, needs to have a certain amount of gravitas. And I think gravitas is a word that is completely alien to Rahul Gandhi. It does not exist in his dictionary. And let me remind the Congress, the SIR exercise has been upheld by the Supreme Court, which said that while Article 326 of the Constitution, the Election Commission is absolutely well within its rights to conduct SIR, and Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia went 2 steps ahead and said, यदि Election Commission SIR exercise नहीं conduct करेगी, तो फिर कौन करेगा? And let me also say that, there are more than 17,509 BLAs of Congress party to be precise. And despite that, there have hardly been any claims, counterclaims or objections filed by the BLAs of the Congress party against the SIR exercise. So Rahul Gandhi making reckless allegations is a hot air balloon, और बाद में वही होगा राहुल गांधी का जो 3 लोकसभा इलेक्शंस में लगातार होते आ रहा है, ठन गोपाल. And let me also end by saying one thing. Maharashtra keeps coming up. Yes, the voter turnout between 5 and 6 p.m. in Maharashtra went up by 7.83%. But equally, the voter turnout in Telangana went up in the last 1 hour by 11.8%. In Karnataka, it went up by 13.9%. In Himachal Pradesh, it went up by 13.7%. But Telangana, Himachal or Karnataka, the Congress party won. So the rise in voter turnout was dismissed. But because the Congress party got a brutal drubbing in Maharashtra, they are weeping like a bunch of sore losers. Janta Janardhan hai, sab samajhti hai.
All right, we're going to go into the SCO summit declaration as well. But before that, and we get on to discussing that with our panelists, I want to quickly cut across to my colleague Maushmi, who was tracking the Yatra. But one quick comment each before that, and I will bring in, Dr. Ajoy Kumar again and Ms. Sanju Verma. Dr. Kumar, now it's a bit much because you had Rahul Gandhi who actually linked vote chori, Gaddi chhod all the way to China. I think, should we not? Do you reckon it's disrespectful to bring that up? Because there you're representing India. It's a tightrope diplomatic walk. We needed to do it, keeping in mind our current context. Would you thought that was not needed? Should have been avoided?
So, Preeti, when their official guys, their IT troll army says, कि Trump से मिला Jinping tension में, okay, they're official. And when he meets Xi Jinping, they say Xi Jinping से मिला अब Trump tension में. Who is insulting India? They themselves are insulting India and all the other people by doing these kind of stupid stuff. Morning to evening, they are doing, they were saying Turkey ko laal aankh dikha diya, boycott Turkey. Now we have brought Turkey back. You tell me, what is this nonsense they do? Their official guys are saying, Azerbaijan, Turkey, China was supporting Pakistan. These guys were all over the social media, press statements, whatever it is. And now, Preeti, ask them to, and Sanju Verma ji should explain, what is this newfound love after Pakistan was supported by China? Suddenly, Trump tension mein, or Jinping or Modi discussion mein. I mean, what kind of statements they make? So they have destroyed India's credibility a billion times more. Even if we tried, we can't do as much damage as the BJP IT cell and the spokes. I mean, they're, the communication department and their whole team.
You have 45 more seconds. You want to let go of it?
Oh, no, I will continue. Thank God for reminding me because I thought it was just... So the important part, Pratik, so the important part... So give me 5 seconds extra. The important part is the credibility of India is on democracy. The credibility is India on its voting system. And these are, whether it's the European Union, whether Trump is a, one-time flash in the pan, there's only 1,000 days more to go. But the rest of the world looks at us for what we stood for. Nepal used to take our suggestions, Bangladesh, Maldives, everybody, all the countries of the world would take. That election commission is gone. And the people of India don't believe in the electoral process. And I want to tell Sanju Verma ji, the last most important, please get the videos of Telangana. If there is please get the videos of Karnataka. If there is a mistake, please inquire it. Okay. We are not saying Karnataka or Telangana, inquire it. But don't get away with this story.
All right, 2 minutes. You have Sanju Verma who will respond, and then I'll cut across to Maushmi to dip in because the Yatra of Rahul Gandhi ended today in Bihar, and then we'll move on to our discussion whether India scored a diplomatic win today or not. Sanju Verma, go ahead, make your point.
Preeti, today I'm reminded of this famous Hindi saying, "Jhukti hai duniya, jhukane wala chahiye." That fabulous photograph of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Putin sitting in the car having a 45-minute chat, despite, Mr. Modi apparently making Putin wait for 10 minutes, but that was not intentional. Despite a bilateral summit that was already planned, they first had a 45-minute chat in the car, and then they had a 1-hour-long plus discussion where the two of them exchanged, views on various things: security, connectivity, trade, global peace, stability, the Ukraine conflict, blah, blah, blah. I forget as a BJP national spokesperson, as an Indian, I'm so proud. कहते हैं ना, एक तीर से usually 2 निशाने लगते हैं. आज मोदी जी ने एक तीर से 4 निशाने लगा दिए. Zelensky is quoting Prime Minister Modi, भैया Russia-Ukraine conflict बंद कीजिए. Putin and Prime Minister Modi's relationship in terms of India-Russia partnership is at its highest point that it has ever been. China and India's relationship is back on track, seemingly. And guess what? I am also amused by that photograph of Putin and Prime Minister Modi walking past like a breeze and Shehbaz Sharif looking as a helpless, hapless, Pakistan has been isolated despite being part of the SCO summit. तो मोदी जी ने वो कर दिखाया जो अच्छे नेता कर नहीं पाते. And as far as India's credibility goes, you have to be visiting a shrink if you feel that the SCO summit was not about India or Modi. It was about Modi. It was about India's, rising stature, India's rising diplomatic prowess, and most importantly, जब हम कहते हैं मोदी है तो मुमकिन है, it is not IT cell troll. Russia, China, America में भी यही बैंड बज रहा.
All right, I'm sure Dr. Ajoy Kumar has a few things to say about that. I can already see his smile on his face. But Dr. Kumar, the fact is, diplomacy is a tightrope walk. You are very well attuned to that. We went to China under certain circumstances, and I would reckon we've come back with the best possible takeaway. With Pahalgam being mentioned, yes, Balochistan has been mentioned as well. But India's got what it possibly needed. Would you call it and admit it was a diplomatic win?
Look, China was accused by nobody less than the Deputy Chief of Army Staff for supporting Pakistan. China has voted in the United Nations Security Council every time till now in favor of Pakistan and Azhar Mahmood. They have given all their technology and defense resources to them. China continues to claim 70,000 kilometers of Arunachal Pradesh and starts naming it. I'm amused that the BJP is finding great success for what did we do after Galwan? We gave them a clean sheet in 2020. We gave them a clean sheet after 2020 saying nothing, nobody came in. Have things changed? And the same China, their own people are sending photos that Trump se mila Modi, tension mein Xi Jinping. The same people have changed it and said, Xi Jinping se mila Modi, Trump tension mein. Arey bhaiya, script to change karo, yaar, please change this awful script writers they have. This story, and my most important thing is the relationship between China and I'm sure Sanjeev Verma ji and BJP will be turning in their, not right now, but the old BJP leaders will be turning in their graves. For the simple reason is China quoted Pandit Nehru's Panchsheel. So Nehru ji came from China. Statement right now on Panchsheel. And they accepted it. No, they accepted it. 70 years back, the Chinese said that there was a Panchsheel and BJP couldn't say a word. Non-aggression,
Ma'am, we are going its tempo. I'll come to you. I'll give you enough time. Okay. Sanjeev Verma, please respond. Because Sanjeev Verma, you might say it's a diplomatic win, which many should look at it as a diplomatic win. But on the other hand, Pakistan's also got the same out of what they can go back home and say that, see, Balochistan was mentioned. When did we deny Pahalgam was not a terror attack? We think it's a terror attack. They've just never taken responsibility for it.
Preeti, let me make one thing very, very clear. Now we've, said, BJP ki IT cell aisi hai, these guys are a bunch of trolls, blah, blah. Let's get down to the brass tacks and have a serious discussion. Your audience needs to listen to this. I will come to who is this they. They said in 2018, do not buy S-400 from Russia. They said Rafale deal, is shady, shabby, and against India's interests. They said that China will never agree to voluntary disengagement post-Galwan. Whereas for the first time, in the longest time, in 2021, China voluntarily decided to disengage post-Galwan, something which it has never done despite having territorial disputes with 24 odd nations. They said that Modi will certainly open the doors of genetically modified US crops and compromise the interests of Indian farmers. They said that 2,000 square kilometers of Indian territory has been encroached upon by the Chinese. But let me say this, the Supreme Court no less castigated Rahul Gandhi, calling him, no, Preeti, wait, my time
I'm given equal time. They don't have time, which is us right now. Ma'am, we need to close the...
Supreme Court called him anti-national.
Okay, I need to close the debate. And we will try and do a more cohesive, constructive debate tomorrow. And I hope to have both of you back where what went down in China with the SCO summit, what have been the biggest takeaways for India, and we'll debate it politically. But we need to end the show right now. Appreciate our guests for joining us for that quick, fiery face-off. Thank you.